I'm putting my leg on your chair to assert dominance.
I will put my leg on your knee
Oh, you do that.
to assert bigger dominance.
Welcome back to Dime Gaming Bros. I am Spencer, joined by my co-host Jacob.
Huh?
We are gamers, which means that we drop slurs and we hate women, obviously.
No?
We do like women here. Sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Most of the time.
Most of the time?
Most of the time.
Oh, okay, most of the time. But we do like to be cheap and scummy.
Yes.
And get stuff
And
for
villainous.
deals.
Scum and villainous.
That's very nice. So, Jacob,
Hello.
I believe you have a piece of trivia for me
Yes.
to ponder.
Every Dime Gaming Bros episode, we love to start with a bit of trivia. And we alternate who hosts the trivia and who fails at trivia. So this month I am hosting trivia. So this video game has the song Koro Bianiki, all one word, playing in it, during it.
Is this like a composed work, or is this like a song from a band?
It is composed.
So it's okay.
I have more hints that we will drop later.
Oh dear. Okay. I have like one guess, but I'm not gonna.
Shoot.
I'm gonna. It feels like a BioShock game.
That is incorrect,
Damn
sir.
it. Interesting.
Koro Bianiki.
It seems really vaguely familiar. I'll probably reckon I'll have an idea with the composer, but we'll get there. This month, I played One Leaves. It is rated E for everyone, which is actually kind of surprising. It is a game produced... Oh, okay, I'm just gonna... Fuck me.
Pass. We're in my room. I don't need those thoughts every time I go to bed.
As if you don't. You text me every night before you go to bed.
No?
Most nights.
Most nights.
Most nights.
It's usually just a goodnight text.
It was developed by Oath Inc. and Wahoo Studios. It was released on PC and Xbox. I played it on the Sexbox. It was released in early 2019 for free. It is a free title.
The Japanese consoles can't have anti-smoking propaganda.
Probably.
That seems like a racist joke, but I can't figure out how.
I don't know. They live longer than us Americans, so...
Oh, so actually, the Japanese don't
need it.
this
Yeah,
propaganda.
there we go.
It's anti-everybody else.
Yes.
I see.
So its official synopsis reads, "You find yourself in a hellish labyrinth trapped behind a steel cage. There are 3 others unfortunate enough to join you. You will need to breathlessly run through an abandoned high school, a creepy hospital, a terrifying morgue, and seemingly the depths of hell itself."
Are you trapped in there with them, or are they trapped in there with you?
I don't know. Beans. Racing against your peers, you will need to keep your wits about you, solve insidious clues, avoid demonic obstacles, and ultimately find your way to the exit before it is too late. The One Leaves game puts players to the ultimate test where they will find out if they will be the one who's lucky enough to escape. Sponsored by The Real Cost, the One Leaves game is based on the fact that 3 out of 4 teens who think they'll stop smoking don't. So this is literally like an FDA and The Real Cost funded game from developers I've never heard of before. So I'm under the impression it's basically like 10 dudes in a dorm who were given the license to like make their own company.
It almost kind of sounds like Dead by Daylight a little bit.
Vibes aren't the furthest things away. So I had no idea what this was before I saw the teaser image, and I was floating through and finding free stuff. Free and cheap games, because I do that sometimes because I'm cheap. So I saw the teaser image and I was like, that looks creepy. I'm going to get it. So it's a first-person puzzle speedrun game, basically.
Nice. Speedrun strats.
Yeah. So on its base concept, I actually think this could have been really, really phenomenal if it basically was given to a real dev team, or not to be rude, a real dev team, but a dev team with a budget.
Somebody with money.
Yeah. So
more than $10.
For the fact that it was basically a PSA, I think it's interesting. I kind of like things like this. I have no clue how the marketing actually works, if they're effective or whatnot, because you know what you're getting into when you download it. It's not like it's hidden. But like for some reason I always like these weird, like, I don't know. The Real Cost and Dare do like weird stuff, and I'm not sure if it works any better. Probably not. Dare makes people do more drugs than they did before. That is a fact. But I think the concept is kind of cool. Of like give them something like interactive to do. Make it fun.
How does this stack up to Chex Quest?
I haven't played Chex Quest.
Ah! I love Chex Quest.
You've brought it up a few times now.
That was my first video game ever.
Seriously?
Yes.
I think my first one was like, it was those educational like elementary school games that you could get on a CD, or it was Frogger 2, which I have a lot of nostalgia for, and one day I will review Frogger 2 Swampy's Revenge on this show.
I'm pretty sure, I can't quite remember if it was on floppy, but I think it was on a CD.
Wow.
And it definitely came in a cereal box.
That's insane. Basically this is a game that is completed in roughly 10 minutes. There are 3 major levels, literally. You're underground. So you start off in this cage, and there's an announcer, and there's like spooky red, like ashy text on the wall. It's like
Ashy, get it?
It's like, ooh, you're gonna die. Like, it's really vague, ominous crap.
Yeah.
This technically is like the buggiest game I've ever played in my life.
Oh my gosh.
I swear this thing was actually developed over a weekend with like pre-made textures, and like they just found this stuff on like a website, and they're like, crap, we have to make something out of it. And then they did it in like a weekend with one playtest. There's basically one way to play it. Like, there are other paths in certain areas of the game in the second level, if I remember correctly. But, like, basically there's only one way to do it if you're going to actually go for time. And that's one of the things, is the achievements. It's a full 1,000 G points, which is great. And you can get almost all of it on your first playthrough. The last one requires you to beat the game 20 times, which I did.
What?
It's not a matter of getting all collectibles. There are things for that. There's like no collectibles in this thing. There's a handful of locations you visit that it's like, oh hey, you found the blackened lungs, or like the whatever. Like, there's like random body parts. Effectively, the setting is supposed to be you're stuck underground, and this location is like kind of haunted or whatever. So it's different places you would be as like a smoker. So it's like it starts off in school, then you go to the hospital, there's a morgue, and then you escape out into the real world after going through sewage. It's real weird.
Is there a green room?
No.
Ah.
The Green Room is such a good movie.
Is there a white smoky room?
There is a smoking lounge, and there is a white room.
See, you mentioned Dare, so I'm going off in that direction.
Yeah,
No.
Nice try.
Man.
Yeah, so basically, you can play it through your first time and just stumble through it in like 15 minutes, and then you just have to remember a handful of turns and like some tricks. The puzzles are required to like beat. There are no alternative solutions. There's one thing you literally have to backtrack. Like, yeah, it's weird.
Do you get to choose your class? Are you like
there are
no
quarterback,
or
you're just 4 random teenagers. That's
goth girl?
Nope.
Man,
like I said, there's a lot of interesting. There's some potential here for sure.
The goth girl would rather just die anyway.
True.
So
She'll just sit down. Yeah, there's a puzzle in a library that involves moving bookshelves, which is basically only solved in one manner. It's weird. The NPCs, you can't even really call them that. They're like flat textures. They will come across, like you will come across them later, but they are not actual NPCs. They are specifically triggered events. You'll see one dart in front of you at like this junction if you're within this time frame type deal. You know, you hit a trigger for this one at this spot and whatever. It's not real. So you have to gauge your timing based off of 2 factors. 1, just flat out timing it yourself. 2, how fast, there's more like 3 ways. 2, about how fast you are compared to before. So how many times you get stuck on like a random wire on the ground because it's that buggy. Or how many extra turns you had to take because you got lost or whatever. And then 3, the elevators between levels will tell you what place you're in, but it's like it's a little light in the corner of the elevator. It's a stupid system. So there's no real way to gauge how well you're doing, except if you've done it a few times, you just kind of know.
If 1 month from now the federal government funds PewDiePie to film an overreaction video to this, we get a cut of it.
True. Very true.
I would be so pissed off if that
would
actually
be
happened.
Freaking hilarious. It's clearly our doing. Our FBI agent, more like my FBI agent, who watched me play this in a bathrobe for like 3 hours straight. That's all I did. I just sat down. I was like, I can do this. And then I just kept running it for like 2 hours ish.
But did you smoke while you ran it?
No, I did think about it just for funsies. Anyways, there are a handful of spooky scenarios which I did think were not the worst things imaginable. The general vibe of the fact that it is a not totally procedurally generated building. There are some parts of the levels that are randomized. You can figure it out if you've played it more than once. But the fact that it changes is kind of cool. There are some sound design wise stuff that's kind of interesting. It's got a I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a bitch, but first person horror games are really easy to get me sucked in atmosphere wise. The graphics are atrocious, the textures are bad, the polygons are low. This legitimately feels like a game that I made when I was taking coding classes in high school.
Original Tomb Raider polygon low though?
Higher than that.
Dang.
You can tell this would have easily run on last gen, and by last gen I actually mean last gen. PS3. This could have run on a 360 or a PS3 easy.
What about a GameCube?
No.
Really?
No, probably not. It's so poorly optimized. It's just nuts. Anyways, I liked the idea of it. I liked the vibe. I kind of had fun. And then after about the third time, I went, oh, no, I have to finish this now. I can't leave it undone. I have to do all 20 so I can never touch it again. There's a handful that, like, you bump into... You may have to boot it up twice to get all the quote-unquote collectibles. Like, some of the rooms might not generate in certain playthroughs, so it's like you have to find, like, the diseased mouth or whatever. It's just something you'll come across in a hallway. And it's not there in one playthrough, so you have to do it again. Like, little things like that are kind of they're kind of cool. There are...
How often did you find the diseased mouth?
Almost every time. I'm really good at that. Almost every single... Like... Fuck. Most of the corners have, like, false endings and, like, dead ends and crap. And a lot of those have the glitchiest ending I've seen in my life. But, like, basically, most of those turn into, like, a throat or, like, a mouth. Like, you're going out the mouth. But then the teeth turn around and then they come at you. It's really weird. This game wants to be like, ooh, you're inside someone's body, but also not commit to it at all because a lot of it makes no sense. They're like, no, I thought there would be at least some cheap jump scares that would be like, they're so buggy, they freak me out. There is nothing. It's just some general atmosphere, some smoke, some really bad lighting. And then the final level that takes place in the sewers, I thought was kind of cool. It's like running through like veins sort of deal. That one's really randomly generated. You're just following just brick walls or flesh walls sometimes. There's lots of scribbles on the walls. It's weird.
So, a sewer level that didn't make you hate your life? Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Whoa.
I think it was the best of the 3 levels.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the first level, the school one, is the most buggy by a long shot.
Sounds like it's just a testament of comparing it to the rest of the game, though.
True.
If you had this sewer level in...
Oh, I'm not comparing this to anything else except
game?
just this game.
All right.
I can barely call it a game. It is an interactive experience. I thought it was just the general idea of you are stuck in a location and you are trying to be the 1 in 4 who gets out in time, I think is an interesting concept. Right. I think, like, that's... If you said that, you just brought up that specific statistic, I'd go... And then you're like... make a video game. I'd go, oh yeah, it's like a speedrun. Like, that's interesting. But this game was very much so not made to be a game. And I think that's its largest fault. I had way more fun with it than I thought I was going to. It's bad. I would recommend it to anyone just for shits and giggles. Like, play it through once for 20 minutes and then never touch it again. Get some free cheap achievements. It's just weird because the inherent concept of running through dark passages against other contestants in this weird game show, like, Survivor thing, that's cool. I like stuff like that. That's a type of horror I can play in a video game and not, like, shit myself. But this is just, I shat myself, but that was because I was bored and I just had to go to the bathroom.
I still, yet again, I'm telling you, I still want you to play Observer.
I'm going to. It's on my list.
I know it is, but bring it up on the list.
Yellow. That's about it, honestly. There's no way to rank this game. I would not have paid for this if I had known it, but the fact that it was free made it kind of fun to, like, shitpost for, like, an hour or two. Just kind of sit there, dick around, listen to a podcast.
What if Bethesda gets their hands on it and remasters it?
You wouldn't be able to. This would not be a remaster. This would be a remake.
They charge
hardcore.
you $10 for it.
If it's actually good, you'd have to, like, double.
You don't know.
You'd have to double the content, fix most of the tech problems. You literally would be remaking the entire game. There'd be no assets that you'd be able to carry over, technologically speaking, and expand it to have actually randomly generated stuff. Okay, fine, I'll pay a few bucks.
But it's still made by Bethesda.
They're competent enough. They have money. They have money. This game is more buggy than Fallout 76 was, and I played that at launch.
Dang. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I bought that.
Oof.
I was an idiot.
So that's why you're up my ass about not pre-ordering.
One of many, many games I regret pre-ordering. So that's all. That's literally all I have. I couldn't talk about this.
Nice.
If I was gonna do a full critical analysis as a game dev, I could do this for an hour, and that's about it. Because I feel like that's about how long they spent on it. Give me more information on this question, please.
Korobianiki is the Russian word for peddlers, and it was initially created as a poem by Nikolai Nekrasov in 1861.
Interesting.
I have one more hint after this, so.
Is it Dishonored?
It is not.
Damn it. We watched Sonic the Hedgehog, the 2020 movie.
Oh,
I'm not going to call it an
that
adaptation.
Was 2020?
That was 20. It was one of the last movies that was in theaters before they closed.
Dang.
And like almost theaters were shut down for the first, like 3-4 months we had here. And then it was such a slow rollout afterwards because everything got like compressed into like 2021. Real weird.
I'm trying to remember what my last movie was before COVID. It wasn't Bloodsport or whatever, Bloodshot. It was... I'll look it up.
I also need to know this now because I remember that mine was something that was kind of not this. Okay. My last movie of 2020, before going back to the cinemas in later 2020, I watched Onward, and then right before that was The Invisible Man.
It might have been Invisible Man. I think it was New Mutants.
Seriously? That's how you ended?
I think that was...
That sucks.
I think that was my last one before COVID.
A lot of people's was Bloodshot or Sonic, and that is just hilarious for me. Anyways, that is just a little thing. So this is the first film in what Wikipedia is calling the Sonic Cinematic Universe.
Oh my gosh.
It is directed by Jeff Fowler, and it is his feature directorial debut, written by Pat Casey and Josh Miller. It stars Ben Schwartz as the voice of Sonic, alongside James Marsden, Tika Sumpter, and James Carey, also known as Jim or Jimothy. The film follows Sonic, a blue hedgehog who can run supersonic speeds, who teams up with local town sheriff Tom Wachowski to stop the sinister mad scientist Dr. Robotnik. Okay. Jacob, please tell me something so I don't go on a rant.
As we noted during our viewing, it was like watching a Redditor's wet dream, which only explains why they changed Sonic's look, because it was pretty much Reddit that was so angry about it.
True.
So I think that's the biggest driving factor, is because that was the crowd they were trying to appeal with this movie.
Well, I mean, the Sonic fandom
is my age.
Yeah, it's a very strange sub-community because they hate the franchise because it's been dog shit for like 10 years now or whatever. So they've turned to
they grew up in
alternative
the 90s
adult methods
with
for entertainment.
Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
And that was the last good game, allegedly.
Sega does what Nintendo don't.
You have to sneak that in every freaking episode.
Yeah. Dude, I loved those ads, and I love the Sega Genesis. Anyways, to address the stupid design change, I think the thing we kept coming back to while watching this, aside from just general commentary, was it felt like the design change made everything worse, kind of. Because clearly they had to update the character model, but they weren't able to change the character's like animation rig.
Lighting.
Yeah, so they just had to go, crap, they slapped the new coat of paint on it, and they weren't able to like redo a lot of other stuff, like change the lighting or like blend it better with the general environment stuff.
Right.
So it felt kind of, while the design in of itself was actually very like well rendered and looks phenomenal, he felt fake, which is so weird because if you pause it, he's still like a very high like polygon like model, and it's very well textured, but he just doesn't look right in the environment.
It doesn't
the fully
look right
CG
with the
stuff at the beginning actually looked really good. And I would argue the ending bit where it is all CG again, whilst to something I despise in existence, it did look much better.
I don't know if it's connected or not, but the rest of the movie also looked like it had a heavy filter on it. People didn't look right.
It looked almost deep fried at some points.
Yeah.
The lighting was really weird and bad, and then the color correction was really inconsistent.
Extremely.
It was
there wasn't one person whose skin looked healthy.
Yeah, it was.
No matter the color of the person, like everything looked fried.
It was just so, it was weird, especially because a lot of the rest of the film is like actually really desaturated, like the car chase and stuff. It's all really boring and gray, and there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
Weird. So this does one of my least favorite things in terms of animated character meets real world, whereas it just basically pertains around the humans. The whole movie is about the stupid live-action humans that no one cares about because they don't have the money to make it about the animated character that people actually care about. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is the only movie that does not do this. Every other movie does this, particularly the Smurfs. And that's the first thing I was thinking of while I was watching this. Like, this feels like watching the Smurfs again.
I'm so glad I haven't seen that.
Don't do that. Don't do it.
They had the audacity to make another one.
It's like 3 or 4 of them now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like Sonic, I think was actually voice acted fairly well. Yep. Ben Schwartz gets under my skin in, I think, the funny way. He's really annoying. Like, the actor. He's fucking annoying in everything. But he is very funny. He has good delivery. He's lively. He's having a blast.
I gave you the hairy eyeball because under the skin in a good way sounds very sexual.
I like it when he touches my nerve endings. But the character of Sonic, whilst interesting, I guess, inherently, and then also in presentation in this movie, but it's given like no focus and very little screen time in comparison to shots where you can see like the top of his head sticking out of like frame because we're talking to the cop now for like 20 minutes or whatever. Like it just, this is a really expensive movie, and it still feels like this was like a first feature for like a film student. Obviously,
I wouldn't go that far.
Almost. With the exception of obviously Jim Carrey requires fuck tons of money.
I think it was more the budget got dinged really bad with having to reskin Sonic.
Probably.
So if they didn't have to do that, it wouldn't have felt like a film project, a student project film. So
real weird. Even if it looked like visually perfect the whole time, the story is still kind of garbage.
yes, it's pretty lame. It's a cross-country road trip.
Because Sonic, you know, the fast one.
Yeah.
His
Can't
legs
run.
don't work for 5 minutes.
No.
And then they start working again immediately. And he's like, I don't know where I'm going. And instead of giving him I'm going to sound like CinemaSins, the people I hate the most in all of time, but like legit ass, he runs to the state they're going to and gets lost. So he comes back instead of just giving him a map or something. So then they have to have a road trip so we can have like car chases and explosions. Just very, I don't know who this is for consistently. It feels stupid, like a kids movie, like a low effort, the kids will watch it because funny colors, but Sonic's demographic skews older. And just video game movies in general skewed at least like tweens. This movie feels like if a 6-year-old watched it, they'd find it funny, and everyone else is cringing at it.
I think its audience was for kids. It's like, hey, let's reintroduce Sonic to kids. And
because we can't give them a good game.
Going to make it interesting for their parents who have to bring their kids to the movies, because those are the guys that actually love this character. So it's kind of a mix of triggering sentimentality and trying to invite the next generation. And it all just kind of...
very flat on its face. Jim Carrey was having a ball, though. That was fun. He was fun, and not just like, ooh, Jim Carrey be weird. He was...
And apparently he's retiring.
What?
I saw a headline yesterday, I think, saying he did Sonic 2, and now he's retiring. He ain't doing no more.
Damn, bro. He's going out like Sean Connery in a butthole of a movie.
Which one was that?
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Oh! A really good comic with a wonderful concept. That
I was really happy forgetting about that movie.
Same. You're welcome.
I don't like you.
I know you don't. This was fun with a drink or two, because we were talking smack the whole time.
We were 2 drinks deep. For sure.
That, like, it just... The jokes weren't very funny. Sonic himself just dicking around was way more entertaining than the rest of the movie.
Right.
The humans are boring and no one cares. Dr. Robotnik was... I don't know how the character is in the games because I've only played a handful of them. I'm more just familiar with, you know, the pop culture of Sonic.
Right.
So, like, Jim Carrey was having fun. He seemed diabolical and shit. Okay, cool. Just give him the funny mustache. And then they gave him the funny mustache, and I was very happy.
There wasn't a whole lot to take away from this. Like,
no, it was short.
It looked okay until it didn't, and then it looked very ugly. The story was boring.
I wish this was fully CG, the full just animated movie.
Yes.
Because whilst not the most original style,
you keep saying whilst.
Whilst. It is a word. It is a conjunction.
You keep using it though.
What's you? Fuck me.
I love Schoolhouse Rock.
That's so old. Well, the opening sequence, whilst very rushed and weird, and the animated style isn't terribly original, it does work, and it is fun, and it is actually colorful, not just in like, we turned up the saturation. Like, it's fun. And if this was just a fully CG Sonic adventure, this would have been way better. The only... Fuck, I had one thing. The only very genuine, that's actually bloody cool thing that they did was turning the rings into portals. I think that was cool.
I didn't know how I felt about that when we first saw it, but it makes sense. They had to do something with the rings besides just having to collect them.
Right.
You need a reason to collect them all. So they're saying that they have magical powers and they can teleport you or something is a fun idea that I'm sure will be used even more in the sequel.
Oh, yeah, because we sent Jim Carrey to the weird mushroom world.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's about it. Okay, so video game movie rankings.
Oh my gosh. We don't have time for this.
No, just in general, where roughly does this stack up?
Honestly, it did not cause very much physical pain. So I would put it near the top.
For sure. Like, probably top 5. There's only a couple of video game adaptations I would call good, and then everything else is mid at best. And this is somewhere in the mid area.
Mid to good. Yeah, I can get
It's like, fine. I'll probably never watch it again unless someone at a party is like, yo, let's get drunk and watch Sonic, and then I'll love it. Because they put the Sonic sketch in it. I screeched. I was excited. They did the sketch of Sonic.
Yes.
Deep cut into deep Sonic internet lore.
Wow. This video game with the Russian song that I don't remember the name of because it's very long was released in 1984.
Oh dear. Is this even a game I know of?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, it is.
Oh yeah.
That helps. 84.
Shall we cover some video game news?
Yeah, let's move to that. I'm like out of guesses. You moved to the 80s. I was not expecting that. From comicbook.com, a new report has claimed that Star Wars Eclipse, which is the upcoming video game from developer Quantic Dream, might not be releasing until 2027 at the earliest.
Shocker.
This past December at the Game Awards, Star Wars Eclipse ended up being one of the most notable reveals of the show. The game was announced via a stunning new CGI trailer that gave some initial hints at what Eclipse could have had in store. And while a number of fans were very excited to get their hands on Star Wars Eclipse, it looks like the game isn't going to actually launch for a very, very long time.
In a land far away.
The land far, far away. Coming by way of X-Fire, it has been said that Star Wars Eclipse's internal release window is likely now somewhere between 2027 and 2028. When the project was first announced a couple of months back, it was made clear that Quantic Dream was only just getting started on the game's development. However, since announcing the title, Quantic Dream has reportedly had difficulties when it comes to bringing aboard new staff members. As such, the release of Star Wars Eclipse has now potentially been impacted, which has led to this new reported launch window. So I thought this might happen, not necessarily the dates, I wasn't predicting that, but that it was going to get delayed hardcore, because this is one of... games do this weird thing where their initial reveal trailers half the time are like a recruiting ad. Like, they're so far out that they're like, hey guys, this is what we want to do. Do you want to work on the game? Here's the application. Please fill it out. And Quantic Dream makes good games, but they're a shit developer behind the scenes, and their boss has been coming under some insane fire for the past, 2 years for being a massive scumbag. So it's probably not easy to get new employees who want to work for them.
And also, it looked like it was just going to be a huge game.
Yeah.
It was an entirely cinematic trailer, so you knew they didn't have an engine, anything going.
Oh, hell no. The engine doesn't even exist yet, probably.
Yeah. So this is not a surprise at all. I'm just glad that they're announcing that it's delayed instead of, trying to meet their freaking release date.
That would have been insane.
We've seen that before. From TechRadar.com, PlayStation maker Sony announced on Monday plans to acquire Bungie for $3.6 billion with a B dollars, an enormous acquisition likely to shake up the gaming universe. The announcement followed hot on the heels of the startling news last week that Xbox manufacturer Microsoft planned to take over Activision Blizzard, so the Japanese company countered with its own major gaming acquisition.
Obviously, this article is a bit old.
Yeah, a little bit. The game development studio is best known for helping the Xbox platform launch back in November 2001 as the initial developer of the Halo series, and more recently has been helming the hugely popular Destiny franchise, which is soon to release its next major expansion with The Witch Queen. I'm pretty sure that came out last week, maybe?
Yeah.
Bungie has officially acknowledged the announcement in a blog post. In it, Pete Parsons, CEO and chairman of Bungo, explains that he sees Sony Interactive Entertainment as, quote, a partner who unconditionally supports us in all we are and who wants to accelerate our vision to create generation-spanning entertainment, end quote. In the same post, Parsons adds that creative independence remains at Bungie's heart. This will hopefully alleviate the fears of some fans that the studio will return to how it was run under Activision Blizzard, an arrangement that was ended due to a lack of control over its IP.
I'm very of two minds on this.
Yep.
On the one hand, the fact that they're emphasizing that they're going to be continued to be given freedom, and PlayStation is pretty damn free with its first-party developers. They're very hands-off.
Yep.
That's good. But on the other hand, PlayStation is also extremely anti-consumer already. So this could go either way.
And Bungie's been preaching about it for years, that they treat their employees well and they release updates on their own time or expansions on their own time.
Yeah, I mean, and then they still treat the customer like crap even after they left Activision, but whatever,
right.
Fine.
No, that was
so annoying.
Why I finally left my ex, which is Destiny 2.
Until Destiny 3 comes out.
No, I left it.
No. Until
Sony says, look at our
it's a complete package.
That'd be nice. I don't know. Maybe Sony can breathe new life into my ex, but as of right now. But that leads me to my question. Are they going to stay exclusively on Destiny 2, or are they going to make a different game or a new game or whatever? Are they going to have some other title at all sometimes in the future? Or are they just the Destiny people? They're
probably not planning anything yet, but I think it would be a good choice for Bungie to develop something else in the meantime. Someone, I don't remember where the hell I saw this, someone threw out this idea that 343 should probably take a break from Halo to make another game for a while, and on face value, I get the idea of you want them to be able to flex their creative muscles in a newer sandbox or whatever, but also 343 was explicitly and literally directly made to make Halo, like that is their entire thing. They were designed to do that, unlike Bungie, which made other games before Halo and then before moving on to Destiny. I just don't think they're big enough to make more than just Destiny right now. They barely seem capable of handling Destiny, because they're a very expensive developer, but I don't think they have the highest employee count by any means. So I think they, like, maybe when they're done with Destiny 2, they should just either take a long-ass hiatus or maybe take a break to make something else, but I don't think they'll be able to, like, split off and have different teams on different games.
Interesting.
More monopolization, yippee. From Engadget.com. Epic Games is continuing its habit of buying creator-friendly companies. The Fortnite developer has announced plans to acquire the online music platform Bandcamp. The move will help Epic build a creator marketplace ecosystem based on fair and open platforms, according to the companies. Bandcamp will still run its standalone store and community, and co-founder Ethan Diamond will continue to lead its operations. The two didn't say how much the deal was worth or when they expected to finalize the arrangement. The move follows a string of creatively related acquisitions at Epic, including ArtStation, Cubic Motion, and Sketchfab. While a music platform is an unusual purchase, it reflects Epic's evolution from a purely game-oriented company to one that produces visual effects tools for shows like The Mandalorian and turns games into creative platforms. While Bandcamp's exact role at Epic isn't known, it could easily help artists at various mediums profit from their work. This felt relevant because it's like a big business piece, but I actually have like no thoughts on this.
Yeah, I am confused at a video game store buying a music store that has like no corporate rights, basically. It's like if I made music in my closet, I could upload it, so it's really weird for a video game store to buy this website, but I got nothing. I don't know. Maybe they'll be the next freaking Disney of entertainment.
Oh boy.
And this is how it starts.
It all starts with Fortnite.
From CBR.com, according to reputable journalist and industry insider Jeff Grubb, developer EA Motive is now aiming to release Dead Space in early 2023. While a formal launch window was never announced, rumors suggested that the team was hoping to ship the game in late 2022. A reason behind the potential internal delay was not specified, but Grubb states that Electronic Arts is placing more time into the production process of Isaac Clarke's reimagined adventure to wow fans when it returns. While the remake of Dead Space does not have a release date, the game will launch for PS5, Xbox Series X or S, and PC.
A delayed game may eventually be a good game, but a rushed game is always bad. So I don't care.
Pretty sure that's Sun Tzu.
No. I do just really hope this is good. Like, I love Dead Space, and it still holds up extremely well, but I think a remake / reimagining with today's tech and different internal systems is definitely worth the effort.
Are we going to do a Dead Space Boogaloo in 2023?
Maybe.
Ooh,
maybe.
That would be fun.
That might be one of... Yeah. Maybe. We're not doing an Elden Ring Boogaloo in 2022. That's for fucking sure. I'm not playing it until I'm 50.
Why?
Because I said so.
Oh, okay. I thought you were boycotting it for some
No,
reason.
I'm still sold out.
No, you can pick flowers in it. I like flowers.
No, I'm still sold out from the massive bust through I had of like 4 or 5 games. What was that, 3 years ago now? Whatever the fuck that was.
I didn't know you were doing it.
It was ages ago. I just don't fucking care. I still haven't played Sekiro. I want to do that first.
Your OCD needs a head pat.
From Variety.
I've really liked all the promotional stuff for this Dead Space whatever. It looks very crisp and clean, and it makes me happy that it's hopefully the same game, but with much better lighting and effects and whatever. Because going back and playing the original is like, oh yeah, this is definitely a 360 era special game. And it's good, but it's tough to fully appreciate it now.
For sure.
I am excited.
From Variety.com, Amazon Prime Video is in talks to pick up a God of War live-action TV series adaptation from Sony Pictures Television and PlayStation production, Variety has learned. Jacob spoke it into existence talking about it last month.
I hate myself.
No deal has closed yet for the project based on the popular Santa Monica studio-produced PlayStation game. The potential series hauls from The Expanse creators Marcus Fergus and Hawk Ostby.
Mark Fergus.
Shut up.
Marcus Fergus.
Creators Mark Fergus and Hawk Ostby and the Wheel of Time showrunner Rafe Judkins. Representatives for Sony Pictures Television and Amazon Studios declined to comment. I still am saying that this is one of the titles, basically anything that Sony does, that's very applicable to be moved into a film or a television show. But, holy cow, is everything getting an adaptation just because The Witcher's popular? Like, holy crap. This is such a massive, like, push for stuff.
I don't think it's just Witcher. I think it's the popularity of Marvel movies, too. They're just trying... They're throwing anything against the Marvel machine.
True. I mean, to be fair, most of the video game adaptations that have been better are the television shows. You know, Witcher, if you want to call it a video game adaptation, that's neither here nor there. The Castlevania show, like, those are a lot better than most of the movies.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I can get why you'd want to put, like, I mean, I think The Last of Us will probably end up fairly, at least decent, you know, like, so
because there's enough zombie television out there for them to glean something
from. Big
from.
zombie break for like 5 years
I'm
now.
saying there's plenty of zombie TV show experience that they can glean stuff from that.
Jacob, they're not zombies.
Yeah, okay. I'm more annoyed about this God of War announcement because I think they're going to heavily base it off of the latest God of War, of War 4, where they changed the mythology and gave him boy and made it much more emotional. And I kind of want him to go back to Roman Greek mythology.
Really?
Yeah. and be an angry asshole fighting and killing gods because they're assholes. Like, that's what makes him the god of war. Paramount Pictures released the final trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, coming exclusively to cinemas April 8th. I did not watch it because that's literally next week, and we'll be watching it in theaters.
I did.
Wow.
It looks better. There's
nice.
more of the animals doing fast, zoomy things. It looks visually better. Jim Carrey's doing Jim Carrey shit, and it looks like there are less stupid humans. So, all I know is we're going to have a few drinks, and we're going to get a good, really, really unflattering photo with this stupid cardboard pop-up. Sonic, go brr, much speed.
No. Tails goes brr.
That is true. Halo Plus. Fuck!
You would subscribe to that shit.
Yes, I would. Paramount Plus released the second trailer for Halo the series, streaming exclusively on March 24th, which, as of recording date, the second episode is now out, which neither one of us have watched and we will not be discussing until the show is done. The trailer did look good, though.
Episode is free on YouTube, which gives me really, really bad vibes.
Yeah.
That means nobody's watching it, and they're like, well, okay, you don't have to subscribe to Paramount to watch it.
Yeah.
You should try it on YouTube. Eesh.
Certainly
Yikes.
not a great sign, but I was going to watch it anyways. And this trailer does look pretty solid, so I like it.
From Engadget.com, another game has joined the increasingly long list of titles that are being adapted for TV. A show based on Asobo Studios' A Plague Tale: Innocence is in the pipeline, joining the likes of The Last of Us and Twisted Metal. As spotted by Eurogamer, French website Allocine reported that U.S. production studios interested in the project were rebuffed in favor of keeping things close to Asobo's home of Bordeaux with Merlin Productions. Details about casting, the production schedule, and where you'll be able to watch the series haven't been revealed, though director Matthew Thury, who was an assistant director on Inglourious Bastards, with an E, is working on the show. Plot twist. You won't get to watch it anywhere. They just make it.
Very twisty.
A Plague Tale: Innocence has all the right ingredients for a TV series, including an atmospheric, striking setting and a solid premise. It's a stealth and puzzle-heavy adventure in which Amicia de Rune and her brother Hugo flee from French Inquisition soldiers and rats spreading the Black Plague in 14th century France. Unfortunately, it didn't have good gameplay, I've heard.
I really liked it.
Did you really?
I did like it.
What did you like about it?
I just had fun. Technically speaking, it was fairly smooth for me. I don't know. I
haven't played it.
I like the storytelling. I like the story. I like sad things. So
Yeah,
when
you do.
games do sad things, it makes me happy.
That makes sense.
Yes. That's about it.
I don't know anything about it.
This is going to be well down the line anyways. I swear, it's going to be like 2025 is just going to be this giant boom of video game properties because we've had like 5 announcements this year alone.
Yep. How many of them are going to be good, though?
1 in 5?
I thought I saw a hickey on your chest. I was like, excuse me, sir?
Probably like 1 in 5 will be good.
Dang.
2 of them will be mid and the other 2 will be Garbo.
Ooh, which one do you think is going to be good, then? Let's put money on this.
BioShock, I'm still betting on.
Which one will be the best out of the pile?
Probably BioShock.
Dang.
I think the story, and even if it's being made by Netflix, I think the story in and of itself just has way more to work with. And I think
that's going to be the most squandered, to be
Really?
honest. Like, so much good stuff, and they're going to be like, we're underwater. Look at the bubbles. I think God of War is going to be the best.
That might be. Avalanche Software and Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment revealed the gameplay of Hogwarts Legacy in a 15-minute video. The open-world game is set in the late 1800s, following a student at Hogwarts. The player attends Hogwarts late as a 5th-year student. The player is able to choose their house and attend classes at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry alongside exploring an open world consisting of locations, including the Forbidden Forest and Hogsmeade Village. The player character will learn to cast various magical spells, brew potions, tame magical beasts, keep an elf servant, and master combat abilities. A morality system plays a role in the game. Players will also be able to customize their character's voice, body type, wand type, and gender. The game is set to be released holiday 2022 for Windows, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X/S. Okay, as a much bigger Harry Potter fan, I need to get my thoughts out very quickly. One, the fact that this world is really incoherent is showing really hard right now because nothing makes sense. The fact that the game is entirely detached from anything we have before is good. I think that's a good choice regardless, especially if you want to make it like an open world choice-based game. But the fact that this is about quelling a rebellion of an oppressed class is not good. That's very yikesy. Goblins are very it's bad. That's a bad choice across the board. The fact that back when I was younger, and I think when most people currently who are reanalyzing Harry Potter from a slightly more critical angle are going, when we were younger, some of the weird things in that lore we kind of just took as being like weird, and now it's like, oh, that's kind of yikesy. Also, you can keep an elf? That is literally slavery.
I was already laughing at that.
It is literally slavery, and the books acknowledge that, and then they make fun of you for wanting to end the slavery because the elves want it or whatever. So that's yikesy. Also, I will love it when my computer blows up because I choose the wrong pronouns that J.K. Rowling doesn't like.
I knew you were gonna do that.
It's gonna be fucking great. Technologically, it does look pretty good though.
I look forward to the True Believer difficulty where it chooses your house for you, and then you have to make your character build according to that house. Aha!
Ah, yay, child segregation. Gotta love it. God, the lore is so incoherent. It's fucking insane.
I still
love it.
Finished that series.
I like it. It's one of those. It's just when you look at it from like a remotely adult sense of like, everything's mixed metaphors and you are kind of insane. It's real weird. I'm not buying this.
I only listened to most of the books last year for like the first time.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand why the world melted when those books came out. Like, they're okay, but that's the best I can give you.
No, for sure. I mean, I think most people who were in the age demographic, so between our ages and a little older, most people are going back and looking at it and going, oh, hey, this wasn't really that great type stuff. I mean, it happens. There's a just somehow lightning in a bottle, special place, special time, but like...
And then I accidentally missed a book. It was like... I missed book 7, listened to book 8, and was like, I don't want to go back and listen to 7, but apparently it's important for 8. I just want to finish the series. Forget it. I won't do anything.
Yeah, it just... This is a story which really should have been... Harry Potter wouldn't be the same even if just the movies never existed, because the movies started being made before the books were even done. So it's a weird interwoven thing, but... This is the type of story that should have just been left to the books, or maybe just the film adaptation and left the hell alone otherwise, because everything, especially since then, is making it even worse than it already was. It's making the cracks that you might not have noticed look way more obvious.
You saying like Fantastic Beasts and all that?
Fantastic Beasts had this chance to like make everything much better, and on the one hand, there's some things that were really cool. I really like the first movie, but the fact that they changed it from a 3 movies to 5 movies in the middle of making the second one is a huge problem on every single fucking level, and it really shows. In addition to just the general Harry Potter lore has some really yikesy shit in it, which JK refuses to change because those are the things that she just believes because she's fucking wacky. So, like...
But that is what you were talking about?
Yeah.
Everything else is making it worse?
I mean, JK's tweets and additions, Pottermore, or which is... The website's got a new name now, but it's still Pottermore. Like, everything since the last book came out has made it slowly worse.
Gotcha.
Even things that were kind of okay or good just should have left it alone, because now it encourages you to look at it more critically. I'm not buying this unless it's like until it hits like the $20 sale rack.
Nice.
And then I really hope I can find it used. I don't like putting money in JK's pocket. I don't like that.
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has officially been delayed to spring 2023, according to an announcement from Rocksteady Games creative director Sefton Hill on Twitter. Quote, "We've made the difficult decision to delay Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League to spring 2023. End quote. Hill's tweet reads, "I know a delay is frustrating, but that time is going into making the best game we can. I look forward to bringing the chaos of Metropolis together. Thanks for your patience."
I am caring less and less about this game as time goes on.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not realize it was being made by Rocksteady.
We've been over this.
No,
How
sorry.
did you forget?
No. I confused Rockstar for Rocksteady. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Princess.
I don't care. I originally was like, oh, this looks cool. And then they're like, we don't have a release window and we don't have gameplay. And I went, oh, okay. And then they went, oh, it's a 4-player co-op game. And I went, oh.
Yeah.
And they went, oh, by the way, it's the next game in the Arkham series. And I went, excuse me. And it just, every single thing just makes it look worse.
Yep.
From GamesRadar.com, developer CD Projekt Red, that's Project with a K, announced the next installment in the storied RPG franchise The Witcher in a brief blog post. The new game hasn't been officially labeled as The Witcher 4, but it's said to kick off a new saga for the franchise. The Witcher 4, or whatever its final title ends up being, will see CD Projekt Red jump from Red Engine, which was used for the development of Cyberpunk 2077, to Unreal Engine 5. The studio has been using the engine since The Witcher 2: Assassin of Kings released in 2011. The creator of Unreal Engine, Epic Games, will also become a central partner for CD Projekt Red across a multi-year strategic partnership. CD Projekt Red says it will be working to fine-tune the next-gen game engine to suit the open worlds it is known for. All I know is I think that it is the cats, and that it better be Siri or I'm gonna riot, and that's all I care about right now.
The cats?
The fucking school, whatever the hell, what do they call the schools? I don't remember the phrase that. It's the medallion's not a wolf. It's not that school. It's a different school.
Gotcha.
They're kitties, or leopards, or whatever the fuck they are. It's a cat.
I don't really care. This is gonna be freaking
Years.
10 years away before we see this game. So, wow, another game's coming. We didn't see that coming.
As if we didn't already know that by the ending of the last game in 2015.
Right. I'm losing my hair.
We all are.
From Kotaku.com, a new lawsuit against Call of Duty publisher Activision Blizzard by a current employee raises fresh allegations of sexual harassment at the publisher, this time focused on leaders in Blizzard's IT department. According to the lawsuit, the current employee was repeatedly subjected to unwanted advances, touching, and inappropriate remarks. She says she was retaliated against after reporting it to HR and subsequently passed over for promotions in an attempt to force her out of the company. Filed in Los Angeles Superior Court on March 23rd, the new lawsuit represents a current employee referred to as Ms. Doe, who first came forward with these allegations in a press conference last December. It claims that despite public promises by Activision Blizzard to support victims, it has continued to retaliate against the employee in the months since she came forward. The lawsuit says she was passed over for a promotion weeks later and given no reason why. It also says that in January, the company lied in an email to other employees saying she had been fired. Activision Blizzard's relentless efforts to push her out continued on February 1st, 2022, when it hired 2 new temporary employees to perform the exact duties Ms. Doe performed, the lawsuit reads. The lawsuit also goes into new detail about the apparent sexual misconduct that took place in Blizzard's IT department, naming among its defendants 3 former employees, former Chief Technology Officer Ben Kilgore, former Chief Information Officer Derek Ingalls, and former Director of IT Mark Skorupa. The first 2 were former Microsoft employees prior to Blizzard. Activision Blizzard Ingalls and Skorupa did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Kilgore could not immediately be reached out. Microsoft declined to comment.
I think we're going to just keep getting these sorts of lawsuits for the next while. whilst whatever is or is not getting sorted out gets sorted out during the merger / purchase like thingamajiggy. It's probably just going to continue turning into specific individuals coming forward with lawsuits whilst the larger company gets absorbed or whatever the hell. This is probably what we're going to get for a while.
Wow.
From Engadget.com, Paramount Plus...
Halo Plus.
Paramount Plus is kicking off its Twitter watch parties with one of the service's more important shows. Twitter and Paramount Plus are kicking off a series of watch parties for the Halo TV series that will give fans chances to discuss episodes in shared moments. The show begins today, March 25th, at 6 p.m. Eastern with a pre-show through the official account with executive producer Kiki Wolfkill and stars Olive Gray and Kate Kennedy meeting online to discuss the series and offer a behind-the-scenes look. From then on, you can expect 9 regular after-show parties. The first takes place March 28th at 4 p.m. Eastern, but you can expect a weekly cadence of parties starting April 1st at a similar time. The virtual festivities end on May 20th. The streams will include celebrity Halo enthusiasts, fan segments, and other reasons to tune in. This isn't really exciting, but I think it's nice. It's something obviously driven to just get engagement, but it's cool.
How many crazies do you think they get, and how many actual fans?
Good question.
I bet they get way more internet crazies that they don't want to talk to.
Well, see, there are ways to restrict all those sorts of things. That'll be, especially on Twitter, that'll make it easy. It'll be, because there's...
And then they get like 3 Halo fans going, "Why did you make the freaking Covenant blue instead of purple?"
See, I think the easier part of that is also most of the people who the people that they're talking about content creators. So you're gonna get your Halo streamers and YouTubers and whatnot, and those people, surprisingly enough, the only reason I really know any of this is because I'm obviously not part of that community, but I follow it fairly closely. They all like know each other, and the people at Microsoft and 343 know some of them. Like, they are aware of the whole fucking community. Like, there are lists, like literal lists of people that like they can invite to certain events, that they're people that are going to be, they play well. And if I'm assuming if you're just not on the list of people that they're like, okay, even if they don't like it, they will be constructive and they're not going to like derail this segment and be weird. If you're not on that list, I'm assuming they're not going to let you talk, would be the assumption. We're not talking about, Zack Snyder having a Twitter watch party a Vero watch party for a fucking movie where it's just everyone on the internet,
So, from blog.playstation.com, Herman Hulst, the head of PlayStation Studios, says, "Today I'm delighted to announce that Haven Studios is officially joining PlayStation Studios. Jade Raymond brings a wealth of experience from her industry achievements and an infectious passion for creating games, and the leadership team at Haven is an equally impressive group of industry veterans who have collaborated on some of the biggest and most beloved games and franchises that many of us still enjoy today. We began working with Jade and her team in early 2021 when they were on the brink of announcing the formation of Haven Studios. From their first pitch, we were inspired by Haven's vision for creating a modern multiplayer experience that brings gamers together in positive and meaningful ways. We were confident in their creative and technical expertise to deliver on such an ambitious project, and were thrilled to invest in their journey developing a new original IP for PlayStation. We've had the privilege of working closely with Haven this past year and have been impressed by the studio's growth and progress. So now, practically on the anniversary of when we made our partnership deal, it's especially exciting to formally welcome them into the PlayStation family. We can't wait to see what the future holds for Haven Studios. Welcome to PlayStation Studios Haven." Wow. What have they done? What multiplayer monstrosity have they made?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm a good researcher.
Quick Googling. Haven Studios games.
And they call me a journalist.
Do they?
No.
Oh. apparently this is good news for Assassin's Creed fans.
Oh, no, you've spoken the forbidden name. Bruh. Why?
Oh, your ex. Haha.
Yeah, why?
We all talk about our ex. I'm not quite sure. I think it's Jade Raymond used to work on Ass Creed a long time ago.
Strange.
I can't really find anything, though.
In a blog post from PlayStation.blog or blog.playstation.com, Jim Ryan, president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, says thusly, today we are pleased to share with you official news about changes coming to our subscription service. This June, we're bringing together PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now in an all-new PlayStation Plus subscription service that provides more choice to customers across 3 membership tiers globally. Our focus is on providing high-quality, curated content with a diverse portfolio of games. Below is an overview of the 3 membership tiers. You need to take a shot every time I say PlayStation. PlayStation Plus Essential. Benefits. Provides the same benefits that PlayStation Plus members are currently getting today, such as 2 monthly downloadable games, exclusive discounts, cloud storage for save games, online multiplayer access, and there are no changes for existing PlayStation Plus members in this tier, and the prices stay the same. In the United States, it's $9.99 monthly, $24.99 quarterly, and $59.99 yearly. PlayStation...
So, exactly the same thing that we have already had.
Yes. PlayStation Plus Extra. Benefits. Provides all the benefits from the Essential tier. Adds a catalog of up to 400 of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games, including blockbuster hits from our PlayStation Studios catalog and third-party partners. Games in the Extra tier are downloadable. Price. $14.99 monthly, $39.99 quarterly, $99.99... Yeah, $99.99 yearly. PlayStation Plus Premium. Benefits. Provides all the benefits from the Essential and Extra tiers.
You already said that.
No.
You already said.
It's the 3rd tier.
Well, you didn't...
Shut up! I can read! Provides all the benefits from Essential and Extra tiers. Adds up to 340 additional games, including PS3 games available via cloud streaming, a catalog of beloved classic games available in both streaming and download options from the original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP generations, offers cloud streaming access for original PlayStation, PS2, PSP, and PS4 games offered in the Extra and Premium tiers in markets where PlayStation Now is currently available. Customers can stream games using PS4 and PS5 consoles as well as PC. Limited time game trials will also be offered in this tier, so customers can try select games before they buy. It is $17.99 monthly, $49.99 quarterly, and $119.99 yearly. The new extra and premium tiers represent a major evolution for PlayStation Plus. With these tiers, our key focus is to ensure that the hundreds of games we offer will include the best quality of content, which sets us apart. At launch, we plan to include titles such as Death Stranding, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, Mortal Kombat 11, and Returnal. We're working closely with our imaginative developers from PlayStation Studios and third-party partners to include some of the best gaming experiences available with a library that will be regularly refreshed. More details to come on the games we'll have on our new PlayStation service. Alright, so basically they put PS Now, which is the streaming app thingy service, into PlayStation Plus, in addition to basically ripping off Game Pass, but it's not quite as good.
Nowhere near as good.
It's still good. This is a strong improvement, for sure.
I'm glad they're simplifying it by rolling PlayStation Now into PS Plus.
Yeah, so basically, you get your PlayStation Plus you get the discounts, the free games every once in a while, storage, and online stuff at one tier. The middle tier is that plus a library of games, so basically Game Pass, but not quite as good because it does not offer games the day that they come out, which is Game Pass's big edge, is any fucking Xbox first-party game, you get it day of release.
Right.
And then the third tier offers streaming of even further back titles as well as streaming of current titles, which is cool. I like the fact that there aren't major price disparities between all 3 tiers.
The most expensive is literally double the cheapest option and gets you PlayStation Now. That seems
It's not a great.
pretty dumb.
It's not great, but I
Because
mean,
PS Now sucks anyway. It's a terrible service. Nobody uses it. Well,
for sure,
not many people use it.
it's not amazing. It's just, I don't know. When you get, so if you go to compare it to its direct competitor. So if you just get Xbox Live Gold, the normal base product, it's $10 a month. And if you want to get Game Pass, it is $15, and if you want to get both, it's $25. So it's a bit bigger of a disparity.
All right.
But it is
That
also
is
a much
surprising.
better deal. Yeah, I mean, still $25 a month for all online play, a ginormous catalog of games that you can
That's
keep.
always being
that
refreshed with new stuff.
Yeah, they don't rotate stuff out. They only put new stuff in, as well as getting to play all Xbox games the day that they come out, in addition to just various small perks. Like, it's a great deal. It's their current reason for dominating, like, game sales. It's fucking nuts. So this is good, but it's not amazing.
Kind of annoyed too because it has downloadable classic games for PS1, PS2, and PSP, but it doesn't say anything about my baby, the PS Vita. And that's a pretty big deal because there's an Assassin's Creed game that's on the Vita that's lost forever.
No,
and
it's not.
Uncharted.
It's been ported out.
Uncharted and Wipeout and
Oh yeah, Wipeout.
all kinds of JRPGs that I don't really care about, but a lot of people do. Like,
Do you really want to play a PSP game on a PS5 though?
that's what I'm saying. They have the PSP, but not the Vita. The Vita is the updated PSP. Like, and you've got important franchise entries on there that you're not getting.
There's there must be some sort of a tech reason for it, because they also excluded the PS3, which from one of the things, it's not downloadable. I think it's only streamable.
Oh yeah, you're right. Right? No, it's a. But anyway, they also had the PS TV. I don't know, freaking 8 years ago.
Yeah, that was
ran
like
PS3 games and PS Vita. So
that was a weird progenitor to fucking PlayStation Now.
right.
It was even worse.
So I don't understand why.
I have no idea, man. Sony's being annoying. It's a step forward, but it's a baby step. Still the last thing.
That's the last thing.
Nice. That is the end of the news.
I played Alan Wake Remastered on the PlayStation 5. The original Alan Wake released May 14th of 2010. And the remaster released, what is that? October 4th of 2021. Wow. So, the remaster, obviously remastered the original game with better lighting and some different controls and what else did it do? Sparkle effects.
Ooh, particles.
Yes, we love sparkles.
Okay, so this is just a basic remaster.
It was a remaster. I could tell that it definitely came out in the PS3 era. It still had some chunky body graphics. They still kind of looked a little bit fudgy. I don't know. It's late and I can't word good. But it was still very nice to look at. The lighting especially was very nice. Which is important because as Alan Wake, you are walking through a nightmare sort of with a flashlight and a gun, because that makes sense, and you gotta kill the darkness. It's shadow men that chase you with weapons and stuff, and you gotta shine the light at them until they make this boom sound, and then you can shoot them with the revolver, which makes 3 more boom sounds. I'm being kind of goofy right now. It's a mix of this nightmare world and reality, sort of. Weird things happen in reality too, so that leaves you to wonder as the player what is really going on, like the entire game. If it's just a nightmare, or if the world really is kind of going crazy. I had the same complaint when I played Control, which was the first game from this creative team. I can't think the name of them. Who is it? Who makes Alan Wake and Control? Remedy games. So both games had me wondering if everything is reality and something weird's happening, or if it's a dream, or what's going on. And turns out in Control, it is reality. And Alan Wake, I'm not so sure what's going on. It's kind of not clear. Alan is a horror book writer, and he's had a bit of a slump lately, so he goes away on a lovely week vacation with his wife to Washington State, up near a state park somewhere, and a whole bunch of weird things happen from there, and he's trying to find his wife.
She never existed.
That's what I thought, honestly.
Don't kid yourself. You're a horror writer. You've never had ass. How long was your playthrough?
Somewhere between 15 and 20 hours, I think. There's 6 chapters. It's interesting that I'm just going to go right out and assume that they released the levels episodically, which seems like an interesting choice, but it was kind of a fad when this game came out. No
idea.
Telltale games did that for quite a while.
Their next title, Quantum Break, did that.
Yep.
Quantum Break. Derp.
Derpity derp.
Derp. That game crashed and burned.
I'm pretty sure a couple of other games came out episodically as well. So it was just a fad. I think this collection does a nice job of collecting them together and making the transitions pretty fluid between episodes. Every episode ends with a cool song that had me hanging around. I'm gonna assume they had credits rolling every time because it was the end of the episode, but they didn't have that. They just had the logo of Alan Wake and the cool song play. And the whole story is really detail oriented. There were hints about the story in the songs that I'm talking about, so I would stick around and listen to the songs trying to figure out what the heck was going on. There are pages scattered all over the episode that you have to collect, and it turns out it is the story that you've already written, and you're kind of in a stranger than fiction story where what's happening in the game has already been written in the book that you're collecting the pages out of. I had something else and it's gone now. The controls for this game kind of bothered me. So as Alan Wake, you have the flashlight in your left hand and your weapon of choice in your right. And the game forces you to be peeking over Alan Wake's left shoulder. And I know this is the lamest of complaints, but after having played so many other third-person games, I want to play over the right shoulder. For some reason, it just felt wrong trying to aim with his left shoulder, and I just wanted to be over his right shoulder. But the game literally does not let you. It became a habit for me to click the right stick to switch to his right shoulder, because every single thing I did reverted back to his left shoulder. So if you pick up ammo or batteries or jump or run or step over a rock, literally, I tested that. If you take too much of a fall from stepping off of a rock to the ground, it switches back to his left shoulder. And it made me really, really angry. And it's the dumbest little feature. And it makes sense from a design standpoint.
Because you're using the flashlight more often than the gun.
Right. The
Unless you're an
flashlight
American.
is in his left hand, but I don't know. It just did not work for me, and it pissed me off so bad. However, every time it transitioned from the right shoulder to the left shoulder against my will, it was very, very fluid. At first, I was like, wait a minute, I thought I transitioned to his right shoulder. And I would click it again and play for like 15 minutes and be like, wait a second. As you're moving the camera, it would stick to his left shoulder. And like, it was very intentional, but it was hard to notice at first. It was very well done. And it seems, I think it's intentional by the developer. Either because that's where his flashlight is, or to maybe be offsetting, because it's so different from everything else that I've ever played, and it is sort of a horror story, so it would kind of make sense to have something a little bit off like that, but it just made me mad. This disc collects the 2 sequel episodes, I guess. You could call them DLC, but the game was released episodically, so I don't really know. 2 bonus levels, and I didn't play those. I started the first one on normal difficulty, and it was very much more difficult than the regular game, and I got annoyed and was done because I had just played 20 hours of this game in about a week and a half, so I was kind of tired of it. And it was very interesting, very fun. I loved the concept. They made many Stephen King references, and outright references, not just in the story feeling like Misery and The Shining, and also a little bit of The Fog, but that's not Stephen King. But they outright call him Stephen King many times, so that was very interesting. Apparently the remaster has new secrets to find than the original release of it. I know of 3 QR codes hidden, placed in the game, that leads you to hidden videos on YouTube, released by the developer. And those are staged in a very similar way to the videos from Control. I didn't really see how the information pertained to Control, but again, I still don't fully understand the story, so I tried to do a whole bunch of research because the developer has teased that there's new stuff in the remaster that pertains to Control and how they're connected and what may be coming down the line from the developer.
Mega crossover.
As the next game, like teases and stuff, but I couldn't find anything.
Alan Wake's Quantic Dream of Control 2.
Wow.
Electric Boogaloo.
The very end of the last episode ends with a wicked cliffhanger. For those of you not in New England, it ends on a major cliffhanger. And that was when I realized, or finally understood, why there has been such an outcry for Alan Wake 2. Because the story seemed mostly wrapped up. I didn't completely understand it, but it felt self-contained until he was like, this is just a drop in an ocean. And then that's the end of the story. It's like, well, you can't really do that and then not make an Alan Wake game for 20 years. But look at them now.
Yeah, now they're making a full-blown spooky game.
I got the PS5 version. It's $30 used from GameStop, and I got it for $25. I would say worth it for $25, maybe $20. I did not enjoy this game as much as I loved Control, but that's because there's like almost 10 years difference between those two games. So if you love Control and need more like it, I would suggest picking up Alan Wake, especially the remastered version, because it's pretty.
Spooky.
It is spooky.
I like spooky games. I like mildly spooky games.
Yeah, and this one was mildly spooky. There were some jump scares, but it wasn't like cheating. It was, well, I wouldn't go that far. It wasn't classic jump scares. It was like, oh, they spawned in bad guys behind me and now I'm dead.
I have one last guess.
Yes.
Is it Discs of Tron?
It is not.
God damn it. What the fuck is this game?
I'm going to leave some silence here so that you can include the song in B-roll.
Yeah, I will.
The game is a little side project. You may have heard of it. It's called Tetris.
Oh my god. I want to die.
It's actually very interesting reading about this song. I'm pretty sure they used it because it was like public domain, basically. But it kind of baffles me that they used a Russian classical piece instead of like
Bleeps and bloops.
no, just regular classical composers like Mozart or Beethoven or whatever. I've never even heard of this guy, and I'm not really a stranger to classical music, so
Yeah, you were homeschooled. You had to listen to a lot of it.
I chose to listen to a lot of it.
I chose to. Okay,
It was
buddy.
my metal awakening. Mm-hmm. It was. So there's
Fucking Tetris, dude. That's what you tripped me up on? Tetris.
that. Yes. And I succeeded.
Damn it. This is why you're a better gamer than I am. So, next month, for the next episode, what was that, episode 6, I think? Yeah. Episode 6 of Dime Gaming Bros, we will be obviously doing our normal shindig with a trivia question in the news and whatnot. We're going to be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah.
And we will probably both be somewhat intoxicated for that viewing, so that'll be fun. I am going to be talking about... Holy fucking shit, I just forgot the name.
Well, while you try to think of the name, I'm trying to decide. I re-downloaded Wolfenstein 2 because I never finished it and I kind of liked it, but my controller was crapping out and I couldn't control it. It was really, really, really frustrating because I would like peek around a corner and pull the trigger to shoot and it would stop peeking around the corner, so I'd just shoot the wall and I was like, yeah, fake this, I'm done. So I re-downloaded it to try to finish it finally, but it seems kind of wrong to talk about the sequel before talking about the regular one here. So I was gonna give you the opportunity to be like, no, my OCD and stuff.
Dude, you're gonna do whatever the hell you're gonna do. That's fine.
I mean, I don't mind doing the first one, but it's up. You can choose.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, do the first one.
Fine.
Fuck you. You give me the option too.
I'm not doing the prequel though.
I don't know why I forgot this game's name. I'm going to be doing Tell Me Why, which is an episodic narrative adventure game developed by Don't Nod and published by Xbox Game Studios. It is an in-between title from the Life is Strange developers, between doing Life is Strange 2 and then True Colors. It is not in the franchise, it is not in the same world, but it is a similar narrative style, as well as having an additional paranormal, supernatural element, whatever you want to call it, like a thing.
Other thing. Got it.
It is part of their transition period to the current game style that they have from True Colors, which they kind of switched over to by chopping out the episodes and the new engine and all that stuff. So this is a little bit of an in-between game. Thank you to our patrons over at patreon.com/dimecomicbros. Jeff, Lawrence, and Dave allow us to be cheap and buy free games, so I can spend that money on cigarettes, obviously. If you want to become a patron, we have lots of different things with all of our different tiers. You can get free Dime Comic Bros and Dime Gaming Bros stickers, bookmarks, You can get mentioned at the end of all of our podcasts, access to various segments and clips, as well as podcasts just early by a few days whenever possible. All sorts of fun stuff. Go check it out. Feel free to follow us on social media, on Twitter and Instagram. Follow both podcasts, you degenerate. If you somehow only listen to this one, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you or how you found us. But we do also have another podcast, just to plug it, just because. We do have a weekly podcast called dimecomicbros with another friend of ours, Colin, where we talk about various different nerdy topics, from comic books to comic book movies, TV shows, and whatnot. That is available all the other places you'd expect, YouTube, audio platforms, and blah, blah.
I usually cover the whatnot in that list.
This is true. Colin covers the screaming and crying and pissing and shitting himself.
Yes.
So go check that out. Thanks for listening, I guess, you weirdo. I'm sorry you don't have anything better to do with your time than listen to us talk about video games instead of playing video games.
Maybe they listen to us while they play video games.
Unless you're like me and you do both at the same time.
That's what my brother does, to be honest. We've been working our way through Halo on Legendary. We've got Halo 2 left, and he usually puts our show on as we're dying very often.
I like how you said you have Halo 2 left, because you definitely left that one for last, because it is the worst to do on Legendary.
Yes. Nice. Those jackal snipers can eat my ass.
Yep, you have to memorize the locations. It's great. You have to shoot them before they even see you. It's awesome. Love it. I love that for you guys.
And Delta Halo, I believe, the 5th level, just straight up crashes. It does not run co-op at all.
That's weird.
And it's not just on PC, it's on Xbox as well. I saw it on Reddit.
MCC is weird. That's probably it. I'm gonna put like a weird Halo noise or something. Jeff Steitzer, say something funny.
Hail to the king!
Had the time of my life.
Dog.
Just walk right in like you own the place.
What the fuck are you looking at me for?
Hey. I hate this guy. He sits in his driveway all summer and just revs his bike.
Yep.
He doesn't go anywhere.
I know. Wings.
I love wings.
I do like some wings. I'm very full right now, so wings would be a bad idea.
Right, no.
But wings are pretty much good. Oh, dude, I kind of like nutted in my brain last night with the food I had.
That sounds pretty gooey.
Yeah, I had a big. It was poutine to share. I ate it myself, of course.
Of course.
It was like platter. It was huge. Would have shared that with like 3 other people, and then I followed it up with a cookie topped with ice cream, and that was disgustingly good.
Topped with ice cream, not sandwiched.
Yes, it was a cookie baked in like an individual cookie.
Oh,
baked in a
pizza
dish.
Pan?
No, like a not a petri dish, but like a
4-inch, 5-inch,
4 something like that. Big, thick, very moist cookie. Like you couldn't have picked it up if you tried. And then it just had ice cream thrown on top of it, and oh my gosh, oh, I passed out immediately. Like, just got back, just poof, dead. That looks fine. What the fuck?
It was the demon.
That was actually pretty sketchy.